Right now in Davenport, Iowa, parents are picking up their kids with no idea what is coming tonight. In Oklahoma City, Dale Simmons has not slept. The sky has been wrong all day, and he knows it. Down in Houston, Bob Garcia just pulled his 18-wheeler off I-45 because he has seen this setup before. 70 miles per hour, 2 a.m., your family asleep? That is Thursday night for 10 million Americans right now. The most dangerous part, your local forecast is not telling you the full story of what is building. Here's the question nobody asked. Do you know which phase of this storm actually kills the most people? The answer is not tornadoes, and the hardest hit city is not the one you're thinking about right now. Stay through the 6-minute mark. What the models revealed this morning changes your action plan for the entire week. Your weather this week is written in 2 chapters, and the second chapter is worse than the first. Straight talk, if you live from Iowa to Arkansas to the Carolinas, this video is your early warning today. Right now, a massive, dangerous Pacific system is coming ashore and already threatening your travel plans this week. Snow levels in California crashed from 6,500 feet down to 4,500 feet by Wednesday afternoon. If you're driving through the Sierra on Tuesday or Wednesday, chain controls and near-zero visibility are your reality. The Sierra Nevada faces 1 to 2 feet of heavy wet snow starting Tuesday, those same recently burned mountains. Highway 50 closes in sections while the North Bay Mountains face 3 inches of rain and mudslide danger. If your Sacramento Valley neighborhood has nearby burn scars, Wednesday is simply a day to stay home. The Bay Area is looking at 50-minute minimum commute delays as this system pushes inland Tuesday morning. This single storm crosses the entire country all week, and its danger grows worse as it moves east. Do you live somewhere between California and the Carolinas? Then this week's weather is directly written for your address. Meanwhile, a completely separate threat is setting up in southeast Texas, and almost nobody is talking about it yet. Houston sits in the bullseye for 2 to 3 inches of rainfall per hour through Tuesday into Wednesday afternoon. Here's the kicker: atmospheric moisture at the 95th percentile makes every single storm cell explosive. Training storms follow the same road over and over, dumping inches on your street like cars on a highway. If your commute crosses any Houston underpass, 2 to 3 inches per hour fills it before rain even stops. Bob Garcia rerouted away from Houston. He has driven enough severe weather weeks to know the rules. Ask yourself right now, do you know your alternate route home if I-10 floods Tuesday afternoon? You have until Monday night to plan that route because by Tuesday afternoon the decision window closes fast. No two ways about it, unnamed systems without hype have inundated entire Houston neighborhoods before and will again. Here's the twist: most people miss your Texas flood risk is real even while everyone watches plains tornadoes. Your neighbors in the Midwest are watching for tornadoes while your streets in southeast Texas might be underwater by Wednesday. Do yourself a solid, check your weather app Tuesday morning before leaving, not after you're already stuck. We are tracking 3 separate danger zones this week, but which one is most likely to affect you personally? At 3:20, you hear the word for a storm that holds 240 miles of destruction, game changer. What you need to understand right now is that this week has 2 very different chapters with very different dangers. Chapter 1 is the supercell phase. Chapter 2 arrives while your family is sleeping and most vulnerable. What word does a meteorologist use when a squall line holds together for 240 miles of destruction? At 3:20, you will know the answer and why Davenport, Iowa, is the most vulnerable city Thursday. Burn this into your memory column. Wednesday plain skies are the most dangerous skies of this entire week. Wednesday morning looks calm to you, and that deceptive quiet is exactly what every storm meteorologist fears most. A dangerous dry line is charging across South Dakota, Nebraska, and western Kansas, setting up match-meet gasoline conditions. Have you ever watched a supercell form in less than 20 minutes from a completely clear sky? That is Thursday. Here's the wild card: a warm air cap could hold every storm back until late Thursday afternoon. Any storm that breaks through that cap feeds on 2,000 to 3,000 joules of energy instantly and explosively. Dale Simmons, a retired rancher outside Enid, Oklahoma, loaded his cattle into the barn Tuesday morning just in case. Dale has read Oklahoma skies for 40 years and says this one is locked and loaded for something violent. Do you know what 10 million people in one severe weather zone looks like? Pull up your map right now. The Storm Prediction Center has already placed 10 million of you inside a 15% severe weather risk zone today. That 15% is historically a precursor to an enhanced or moderate risk upgrade before the day even arrives. From Des Moines through Kansas City, Wichita, Topeka, and Norman, this is your official early warning right now. What makes this uniquely dangerous is the 2-phase storm structure that has been building for 4 straight days. Phase 1 is the real deal: golf ball hail and violent tornadoes fire between 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. Thursday. Here is the twist: Phase 2 is what most people ignore, and it is deadlier for families than tornadoes. Phase 2 is the squall line forming after dark, a solid wall of wind racing east while you sleep. When mid-level winds run parallel to the cold front, your individual supercells are forced to merge into a QLCS. A QLCS looks like a thick line on your radar, not a tornado swirl, but it is equally deadly. Do you know what 70 miles per hour of straight-line wind does to your neighborhood at 2 in the morning? Winds inside a QLCS top 70 miles per hour with almost no warning during overnight hours while you're asleep. Frank Hollister, a farmer outside Jonesboro, Arkansas, says his biggest fear is not the afternoon tornadoes, but the midnight wall. Frank lost his barn roof in 2019, and his radar warning came just 4 minutes before impact. 4 minutes is not enough time to wake your family and get to your basement safely at 2 a.m. Good grief, Frank heard this week's forecast and immediately pulled his trucks under cover and called his kids. Here is what should genuinely concern you. Thursday night's squall line may qualify as a full derecho. A derecho is a squall line that holds together for over 240 miles with sustained destructive winds throughout. The last major derecho to hit the Midwest caused over $1 billion in damage in a single overnight crossing. Honest to goodness, if you live in Davenport, Rock Island, Galesburg, Peoria, or Bloomington, that is your Thursday night track. 3:20, the word is derecho, and your city with 18 hours left to prepare is Davenport, Iowa. While you're watching Thursday afternoon tornado coverage, a 70 to 80 miles per hour squall line is charging straight at you. That wall of wind hits at 2 a.m. while your family sleeps and is most defenseless against this damage. If your home is a mobile home from Davenport to St. Louis, set your shelter plan before Thursday evening. At 2 a.m. with 70 mile per hour winds outside, your phone cannot give you the time you need to find safety. Here's the plot twist. Thursday night may not even be the worst moment of your week. Friday arrives with a completely uncapped atmosphere and storms that explode upward with nothing to slow them down at all. Are you in Dallas, Little Rock, or Fayetteville? Because a brand new 9 million person risk zone is pointing directly at you. Good Lord Friday's setup is uncapped, moisture-loaded, and aims at a population that has zero recent storm experience. Friday hits different because the atmosphere has no cap, meaning storms do not have to fight to explode upward. Your dew points in Dallas, Shreveport, and Little Rock hit the 60s by Friday loaded with storm fuel. Wind shear of 30 to 40 knots means any supercell that fires on Friday will rotate almost instantaneously upward. Do you know what 2-inch hail does to your car and roof at 50 miles per hour impact speed? 2-inch hail strips paint, shatters windshields, and chews through asphalt shingles in under 60 seconds of direct exposure. The I-30 corridor from Dallas to Little Rock is the Friday bullseye, and that storm is aimed straight at it. Sandra Phelps in Greenville told her daughter, "Pray for rain, but have your shelter plan ready to execute." Sanders County has been under a burn ban for 8 straight weeks, and her creek has been dry since January. Here's what nobody's ready for when that drought-hardened concrete dry ground gets hit with 2 inches per hour. Water sheets off dry ground instantly, and your neighborhood flooding begins in under 15 minutes of heavy rainfall. Sanders Creek, that has been bone dry since January, could go from empty to raging torrent in under 30 minutes. Roaring back with a vengeance, the severe threat shifts east Friday toward a southeast with almost no storm experience. Nobody is ready for what comes after Friday, and the models only showed this for the first time today. Do you remember the 6-minute mark promise? 60 seconds from now, you see the most alarming data of the video. A dangerous secondary system is building off California, now connecting to something far bigger than this week. This second system is the silent threat hiding behind this week's derecho, and it reshapes your entire winter. What is the one atmospheric event that your insurance company studies more carefully than any other in American weather history? The alarming answer is building in the Pacific, and you are about to understand why it hits your home. Do not miss this. The alarming models revealed this morning about your fall have never appeared in one video. Here's exactly what we promised. The dangerous pattern this morning's models just revealed about your fall weather. El Nino is confirmed developing right now, with Pacific sea surface temperatures already 1 degree Celsius above long-term average. What does that mean for your home, your city, and your insurance premiums between now and next January? 500 feet below the Pacific surface, water temperatures run 5 to 6 degrees above normal, alarming. Here's the twist that changes everything. This subsurface warmth closely matches the ocean data from 1997. NOAA now forecasts a 93% chance of full El Nino conditions by October, November, and December of this year. There is a real 20% chance this becomes a super El Nino before fall even ends, not theoretical. Do you know what the 1997 Super El Nino did to California in the winter of 97 to 98? California received record snowpack, record flooding, and record coastal erosion all in a single season 6 months from now. The Southeast received its wettest season in decades during that same El Nino, with repeated tornado outbreaks through March. Carol Myers, a retired teacher in Florida, asked her neighbors, "Do you remember how much rain fell in 98? Carol's backyard pond is half empty from drought, and she is renewing her flood policy this week already. No two ways a super El Nino puts your winter storm risk at its highest level in 25 years. Here comes the key number. 2.5 degrees Celsius above average is the super El Nino threshold. The Pacific hurricane season under El Nino becomes hyperactive with storms forming closer to your California coastline than normal. Between April 25th and 29th, a second major system directly targets your southeast and mid-Atlantic forecast. If you live in the Carolinas, Virginia, or Georgia, this is your first good weather news all spring. This is the first significant rain chance for your area since January, and it is finally coming soon. The European model shows above-average rainfall heading toward Memphis, Charlotte, Raleigh, Washington, D.C., and eastern Texas. Charlotte is in its worst drought since 2008, and this pattern change may finally deliver your relief. Gary Kowalczyk, a retired farmer outside Raleigh, has not touched his rain gauge since January because there was no point. Do you know what happens to your soil after 3 drought months when the first heavy rain arrives? Water sheets off the surface instantly and your local creek goes from dry to dangerous in under 15 minutes. Gary said soil under his boots crumbles like sand and the first heavy rain will sheet off like pavement. Flat out honest that drought relief carries a price, and the price is a severe weather threat for your region. Anyone in the Carolinas or Virginia who dismisses this pattern change as just welcome rain is underestimating the danger dramatically. Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and Philadelphia could each see their first significant severe weather threat since early March. Plain and simple, the storm bringing your drought relief is also bringing the most dangerous weather of the spring. Here's your complete 8-step action plan because this week's threat could catch you completely off guard. Step 1 tonight, can you name the closest interior room on your lowest floor? That room is your shelter. If you live in Oklahoma, Kansas, Iowa, or Missouri, you need to verify that shelter location before Thursday afternoon. Step 2, if your home is a mobile home, arrange to stay somewhere solid Thursday night without exception. A 70-mile-per-hour squall line at 2 a.m. will turn your mobile home into debris before you can react. Full stop. Step 3 for Houston and Southeast Texas, know your alternate work route if your usual road floods Tuesday. Turnaround Don't Drown has saved more lives than any other American weather rule. Use it this week. Step 4, Arkansas, Northeast Texas, and the Mid-South. Your primary severe weather window is Friday afternoon into evening. Step 5, download an alert app tonight that rings audibly and wakes you if a tornado warning drops nearby. Here's the kicker, your phone on silent will not save your life at 2 in the morning. Step 6, 70-inch winds are coming, so move outdoor furniture, trampolines, and anything unsecured inside before Thursday. 70-mile-per-hour winds will turn your patio chairs into projectiles, traveling at highway speed through your neighbor's windows. Step 7, check on your elderly neighbors Tuesday night and confirm they have a Thursday night plan already. Do you have a neighbor over 70 living alone without weather apps? Your call tonight could save their life. Step 8, keep your gas tank above half all week so you can evacuate without stopping for fuel. Bob Garcia says every professional driver knows Rule 1, never run low on fuel during a severe weather week. Zooming out now, El Nino is about to fundamentally reshape your weather patterns for the next 12 full months. Is your flood insurance current? The answer to that question will matter more this fall than it has in years. With a 90% El Nino chance this fall, your southeast faces its wettest and most dangerous winter in memory. California and the Intermountain West face well above average rainfall and serious flooding threat from November through January. Your Pacific hurricane season becomes dangerously more active with storms forming closer to Southern California than usual. The Indian monsoon faces its most suppressed forecast in a decade, affecting global food supply chains this year. Share this with your family. 2.5 degrees Celsius above average is the super El Nino threshold. No living American has seen modern infrastructure tested by a 1997 scale super El Nino event. Here's the twist. El Nino suppresses Atlantic storms, but Gulf Coast storms intensify 30% faster than normal. Good grief, your Gulf Coast risk does not drop with El Nino. It just shifts into faster 50-mile-per-hour intensification. Carol is renewing her flood policy this week. 1 inch of floodwater costs $25,000 in damage. A super El Nino would aim 5 to 8 major winter storm systems at your Gulf Coast from November forward. Homeowners from Baton Rouge to Atlanta flood insurance rates rise 30 to 40% after major El Nino events. Acting in April on your flood policy saves you $300 to $700 before October rate resets hit. Severe weather does not stop this week. A 15% risk setup arrives Monday through Wednesday next week. Do you know how many Day 4 and Day 5 outlooks the Storm Prediction Center has issued in April alone this year? More Day 4 outlooks than any prior April on record. That is the El Nino pattern loading up right now. After that, another system arrives April 29th through May 1st. Models show it as your month's worst event. Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, and western South Dakota face a late-season blizzard risk with this late April system. Here's the twist: nobody expected this late April upper trough is unusually deep by any historical standard. The pattern from April 28th through May 3rd looks like something you would see in mid-January, not late spring. No two ways about it, your severe weather risk rolls almost without pause into the first week of May. The European, American GFS, and Canadian models hit rare three-way agreement and 80% historical accuracy rates. Honest to goodness, folks, if your family emergency plan has not been reviewed, tonight is the night to open it. The atmosphere is locked and loaded. The next 14 days demand your full attention every single morning. Nobody is ready for the full scope of what is coming, but you are now because you paid attention. If you are in Oklahoma, Kansas, Iowa, or Missouri, drop your city in the comments to track your risk. If you're in Arkansas, Northeast Texas, or the Mid-South, tell us your city in the comments below. If you're in the Carolinas, Georgia, or Virginia, drop your location next week targets your area directly. We opened with Dale and Enid, Bob in Houston, and Davenport parents with no idea what tonight holds. You now know what they do not the derecho track, Friday's uncapped outbreak, and the Super El Nino scenario. We covered Thursday's cap-busting supercells, the 2 a.m. Davenport squall line, and Friday's 9 million person bullseye. We delivered the El Nino confirmation, your 93% NOAA forecast, and the April 25th to southeast shift. Are you the one who takes tornado warnings seriously? Share this with the one family member who does not. From Sierra Snow to Davenport's 2 a.m. squall line to a 9 million person Friday outbreak, this is your week. That 8-step action plan is the difference between watching this storm on a radar app and surviving it safely. You now know more about this week's weather than 90% of the people living directly in the danger zone. Stay weather aware, stay safe, and come back tomorrow. Thursday's storm is shifting, and the overnight update is critical. The late April system the models revealed this morning contains one detail we could not fully cover in today's video. That detail changes everything about your risk next weekend, and we are covering it in the very next video. The next video drops in under 24 hours, and what it reveals about May will genuinely surprise you.